Okay, so welcome everyone. Today I'm here with a special guest for the EBM Scholars Show, and as I promised, I have to talk with expert. So we have to bring expert to talk about money, our future, retirement, happiness, and everything. So welcome so much, Dada. And first and foremost, please introduce yourself.
Oh my goodness, what an amazing time. Thank you so much for welcoming me to this powerful platform. My name is Jane Moshi Maloda, and I'm so honored and privileged to be here with you all today. You know, like Mr. Makuliro will tell you, an expert. Let me tell you, we're all expert in our own ways. You know, I'm here to represent ourselves when we talk about money, a subject everybody would love to hear. What are my backgrounds? So me, originally, I actually went to school to do nursing. I love and I'm passionate about helping people. So I have been helping people for over 15 years, you know, and guess what? I always ask myself, what about me? You know, I'm helping others. What about me? So I'm always have a thirst of looking out to see what else can I do so I can even impact more and more people. So, hey, I started the business and I'm now a licensed financial professional all the way from California. And I've been a licensed professional for 3 years. And my education is Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, Master's of Nursing with leadership background, as well as Master's of Business. But let me tell you, the conversation today is going to be on fire. I hope you are sitting down and you're ready to actually take some notes, because
Yes, that is the first
we will
thing.
have a bunch of questions for you.
I want to tell people they have to take a notebook so that they can be able to write. That is something they have to do because we are going to talk a lot of good things, which we usually don't talk in normal conversation. We avoid a lot talking about the issue of money, issue about our future, about retirement, about dying, and all those kind of things, but the good things down to our life. So I'll be having a lot of questions to start with, but I'll give a lot of time for you to give deeper analysis. But the first thing you mentioned yourself, you used to be a professional nurse with a bachelor degree and master's degree in nursing. And I believe your degrees are from here in the United States, and you worked for enough time here in the United States. What I know, nursing is a degree program or profession, pays a lot of money. And I know it is a dream of many people to join to the field of science and get 100,000, 200,000 per year. And that is the dream of many people. So let us start with you. How comes you decided to quit 150, 200, 250,000 US dollar per year to do something else? To start with that one.
Oh my goodness, that question is always ringing about, because people look at me and I tell them I retire nursing, you know, they're like, what do you mean? I'm going to school to be a nurse. I heard nurses do wonders. They get compensated a lot. You know, I always ask a question, Mr. Macolero, compared to what?
Exactly.
You know, because if you're looking about 150, 250, 250,000, compared to what? Because when we look at wealth, this is really simple. When we look at wealth, you know, we define wealth differently. For me and other my colleagues, we define wealth in 5 F's. First is your faith, right? Then you go to your family. What is it that around that? Number 3 is finance. Number 4 is your health. We call it a fitness. And number 5 is fun. So really, at the end of the day, when you're doing whatever you have to do and you cannot at least accomplish this 5, doesn't matter how billionaire you are, right? It's not going to give you any wealth. But looking back for me, I used to work. I used to be a manager. And I had a phone. I had to take that phone everywhere I go. everywhere I go was in a birthday, every corner of the room. I get woke up in the middle of the night. And, how would I do all my 5F if that was my life, right? So looking about freedom of time. So that's the reason really I let go of that and I do what it is. Now I am searching a purpose instead of a paycheck.
Yes.
So that's the difference. When you work for somebody, you are just chasing a paycheck. When you work for yourself, what you're doing is creating time to do what it is that you would have wanted to do anyways, but also you're chasing for purpose. So that's the reason, really, truly deep down, because helping people is still remain and is my focus. But I just pivot a little bit on the way I'm helping people, but I'm really chasing a purpose in life rather than a paycheck. So that's the reason why I really.
And if I might add, the reason on my end usual is no matter what job you have, even if you are president, you die today, tomorrow you are replaced by someone else. But if it is your own company, yes, you can. There will be a transition. You are building something for your family. But today you are president, you are CEO, you are dying today. They appoint someone tomorrow. You are former someone, and that's game over. But that one doesn't translate or transform to your family, to your grandchildren, those kind of things. So those are the very good reason you have been able to explain. You said you are originally from Tanzania, and I see the flag of our great country of Tanzania. So we share a lot of things from Timu Upendo.
Absolutely. Go Upendo. Go
Where
on.
are you? Which part of Tanzania are you from?
So me in Tanzania, I'm originally from Kilimanjaro. So that's where I am from. And I know they always make a joke that the people from Kilimanjaro, all they think about is money, money, money,
Smart.
money.
Sometimes them, they are smart. They know how to not to get employed, how to invest. That is a typical genetics DNA of people from Kilimanjaro.
So I just expand that a little bit, and took advantage of that and move with it. They already say, anyway, might as well do it.
So how many years have you been here in the United States?
Oh my goodness, I've been in the United States for 23 years total.
Do you have any regret for not being in Tanzania for all this time? I know you are traveling and all other things.
I think the day I took a flight to come here, I had to really talk to myself and say what it is I'm doing, because I was at the age of 20 and I'm one of those people, I don't mind, you can calculate my age, no problem. I was 20 years old, female, going out on a country I don't know, just graduated from high school. So just leaving my family then, if any regret would have been done, it would have been done then. But at that time, I was so ambitious young lady, right? Got an opportunity, grab it, run with it. Regret was like not even a vocabulary on my mind.
Yes.
So that fire of me since then just keep burning all the way here. So regret, I never even considered to be there could have been either or. I'm always thinking that is a combination of being,
Yes.
Your life is full of, decision you make as well as where you're going. So based on where I'm going, I didn't really think about, I could stop to think, could I have done differently? So that's how I'm going until today. Regret? No. Never came to mind.
Yes, you said you came here around the age of 20. Myself,
Yes.
I came here on 20, the age of 26, 1 month before going to the age of 27. And 2 days ago, I was reading what is the average age of immigrants coming to America. So in 1990 to 2000, it was average the age of 26, but now it's going to the age up to 30 to 37, up to 45. Majority of people nowadays are coming a little bit older. That brings me to a very critical question, because when you come at the age of 20, yes, you have a room to grow, to get a degree, to make mistakes. You come at the age of 18, but you are coming here at the age of 30, 35. You don't have that room. So that's why we want people like you to break down what are the important things you need to do from day one after arriving in America. I know these principles, they apply wherever you are. It doesn't matter, you must be in America, but especially we're talking about immigrants who are here. Let's say, yes, some people, we are late to know all these kind of things. But what if someone is preparing to go to Europe or is coming to America or is just finishing bachelor degree, and what are the important things we need to do? And what I say important things, let's go to break down to the beginning, the use of money. Myself, I assume I know how to use money. But when I was growing up, the money was my father and my mother. They have money. I go to school, they give me school fees. That is not my money. The first money I got, like I say, like this is money, is when I finish LGBT high school. Before going to the university of teaching tuition, you get $50, $200 per month. That is good money. But still is not, you are still living at home. Go to the university, you get the money for school. That is still is not the money. You find out we do not know, we don't have experience of using money, making mistakes, and knowing the principles. So can you break down for everybody who assumes knows how to use money, what is the principles of the money?
Wow, that's a very loaded question, right? Like break it down, principle from the beginning. How do we use money? I mean, that is really $1 million question, but I have a simple way to look at it, right? So for us who are in America per se, you are talking about people who just already started life, 30, 35, coming to America. What are they going to do, right? So the first thing really, when you come to any country you go, understand the system. Right? Understand the system. What do I mean by that? What are the things that they are laws, right? Look at the laws versus not laws, right? What do I mean by that? Like here in America, right? You have to put a seatbelt on when you drive. If you don't, they're gonna do what? They're gonna give you a ticket. People ever wonder why that came to law? Oh, they just do it because it's a law, right?
Yes.
So, if you look at that, how many of us who went to school actually were taught how to use our money when you get off school?
No, I was not taught.
Right? Nobody was taught. But did they ever put a law there? If you go to debt, and you don't pay your mortgage, what are they saying? Do they say they're going to take you to jail or they're going to take the house? Right? So things like that, like why didn't they put a law for people to know money, knowing that they're gonna go homeless, right? But they put a law, for people to put a seat belt for your own safety. Is that true? That is your safety? So if you ask simple question like that, you wanna know. So the first thing is that many people always believe about wealth. It's just that they define it differently. When it comes to money, right? The wealth formula, shows this. There are many ways, but the one that I adhere to most of the time is, in order to be wealth, number one, you have to make the income. Would you agree, Mr. Makulilo? No income, no wealth, right? Then you take your lifestyle. So you take income minus your lifestyle. Now you have some savings.
Yes.
So that savings, based on your lifestyle, could be negative or positive.
Mostly negative to many people.
Now we call it a debt, right? Makes sense? And as soon as you're in debt, you're paying somebody else.
Yes.
So when you think about people who have positive savings, how much is that money making for you? Because if it's debt, you pay for somebody. What if it's yours? How much are they paying for your money? Now you start thinking about where do I put my money, right? So you look at the concept of banking. How much, what is needed for my money to grow? Is interest. Simple, right? In America, interest. So that saving that is positive, you add interest, right? Once you add that interest, the question is how much of it? So you go to your bank and everybody have checking account, savings account. It's just a conventional way of living. We all need it to pay bills, right? Then you ask the bank, how much interest do you give on my money versus how much interest I give you for the credit card you gave me?
Oh.
So people ask me, what do I need to know? You gotta ask those questions when you go to get those bank accounts, when you go to get those. So once you've figured it out, there's a rule called compound interest. That compound interest, it has no discrimination. All it does is look at the interest, right? And it says this, based on the interest you get today, Mr. Makuliro, we're gonna take a rule of 72, which is 72 is a constant number in America. Albert Einstein came up, a genius guy, right? For us African, all we know is MC squared. So guess what? Boom. As soon as you get that, you divide by the interest. The number you get is going to show you how much your money will double on its own. So if you're paying it to the creditor, that's how much they're going to double in their favor. If he's paying you, that's how much it's going to double in your favor. So the question is, do you know where your money is once you make it? Or do you make enough? Because a lot of people may end up with a lot more month than the money they have every single day. So when you look at just the simple things like that, you look at just the worth formula, then you look about what your future is going, right? So if your future is going, that means you're going to have to accumulate money. But when you think about accumulation, think about how do I protect that money, right? You work so hard. How do you protect it? That's the second stage, accumulate, protect, and then you distribute. Let me go get it. How much do I have once I go there? So that's where it's always a thing. So people need to kind of get themselves to understand, meet with a financial professional. And I'm choosing my word very, very careful, not financial advisor, professional. The difference is very clear. Professional will educate you. Advisor will advise you. And what are they advising you? They're advising you based on what they're telling you to do. But what if after that, 2 years later, your mind changed? If you don't have the knowledge, then your actual life is not going the way it should be. So get yourself educated. Don't be scared to sit with somebody to learn about money.
I have a question on that.
Go for it.
The immigrants, there are two questions. Usually we don't want to talk a lot. One, especially I'm giving example here in America, people don't share their immigration status, and they don't share about money, like how much money I'm making. But the same person will be okay if he's in America, coming from Tanzania, coming from Togo, coming from Liberia. The same person is okay to go to the dentist on a regular basis for the checkup. The same person is going for the normal physician for the checkup and is asking the crazy question. I remember on one of the webinar you explained, someone is asking about bowel movement, but we don't want to share those kind of things. But so how do you, first of all, make someone comfortable and understand that in order to get help, to understand these principles, when someone comes to talk to a professional, you need it, first of all, to come up with the receipt. I'm not like okay, this is how much I'm making. And there is no shame. I'm using this amount for Netflix, this for this one. And then you come, because if you show everything how you spend, someone will say, okay, this is how we can be able to give you, like, how much do you get at the end of the month? How are you going to get at the end of the year? How do you use your tax return? Are you going to use the tax return just to add new pairs of jeans and all those kind of things? So how do you, first of all, advise immigrants to be open to talk about their income, to share with the professionals, and not just to just go and read on the internet and you assume you are professional? There are people having license, because you don't just go and advise me if you didn't pass the examination and you are working under special kind of rules. So you are professional. Why do I trust a doctor and people don't want to trust, or they fear to talk about money, and especially to a professional? How do we change that culture?
I mean, that's really a good point, for people. It always boils down to one thing, a relationship with money. People don't realize that every one of us grew up and create this relationship with money. So there are some people who grew up where they had enough, right? So their relationship is different. Then you have these people who didn't grow up with enough, then their relationship is different. So based on your relationship with money that you grew up with, you see, some people say money is a rule of all evil, right? But we all believe that money is close up to oxygen, right? Because you don't have it, there's no breathing, right? So it's just those kind of things. How much of that? So people need to sit down and ask themselves and be okay from where they came from to where they are. Once they are okay with that, then it won't be a taboo anymore to discuss money, number one. Number two, earlier I said, people just gotta get knowledgeable of what is around them. What are rules? What are not rules, right? So for example, if you're in US, You know, I can know how much you pay your house because all I have to do is Google it.
Yes.
You know, I can know how much you get paid. All I have to do is Google average paid people based on whatever it is that you do. You know, I can know your status based on where you work. So why is it a secret?
Exactly.
Because if I know you live in Texas, Dallas, you're a nurse, I can just average that out, right?
Yes.
And I can find out. If I know your address, I can know when was the last time that house was sold or you're renting. Why? Everything in America is published. If somebody chooses to look. So now, would you rather people know on their own and you hold your privacy and integrity based on how much you make? Or would you rather go to somebody who has confidentiality and had fiduciary responsibility for you to actually direct you on what direction to go? Which one is it that is going to be more beneficial? That's where people need to start asking themselves those questions and take action to say that actually my life is not secret.
Exactly.
It's not.
That's what I usually tell people. It's not a racist thing, but this is the reality that a white person is easier to succeed because is okay, most of them by culture or by how the upbringing, it's okay for them to go if they have a mental health to go to therapists. They're okay to go to medical. They're okay to go and ask. I do not know how to use money for the profit. But Black people and especially Africans, we delay. For that kind of delay, we are putting ourselves in negative advantage compared to other people. So you do not know. First of all, you do not know how to invest. You end up having even credit score is the worst. Everything is the worst. You are using cash. You do not know how to invest. You have been here for 20 years. You have never put, you do not know even the terminology compound interest. It's a mess. So if another question related to that, it comes to the issue of retirement. Majority of people, we are assuming retirement is age. That means when I'm 65, when I'm getting Social Security here, or if you are in Tanzania, or when the government tells you you are no longer supposed to go to work, that is people assuming retirement. But retirement, in my understanding, is any time you decide to retire, as long as you plan the money you can be able to use and investing into all other kind of things. How do you advise, just in not in typical details, like, but in general, like, what is the concept of retirement in a professional way, and what are the things someone has to figure out or to think beyond, like, okay, I want to retire in 5 years versus in 30 years. What are the things someone has to consider to think about those kind of things?
I mean, that's a really, really great question. So retirement, everybody define it different, just like you already mentioned. So this is where we look at it, right? The people who has a job has to retire.
Yes.
So if you have a job, you're going to have to retire. Why? You're going to get to a point, like you mentioned, the age, right? They're going to make you retire because you can no longer function the way you were at 20. Now they're going to bring a 20-year-old. Why? Because you're not having a job. You're holding a position, right? So once they have to move you to put somebody in there. So that's why people go and think about retiring. They think about retiring, but retiring doesn't mean anything else but the decision of me doing whatever I want. That's really the bottom line. Doesn't matter what age it is that you do. But people with business now, they never say they're going to retire.
Yes.
Have you heard any business owner retire?
No.
They don't. Like, whether they work or not, that's a different story, but they never retire. So for us, we equate stop working to retirement. So now you start off, even our kids, right? As we're setting them right, that's where it starts. Can you imagine you're starting your children looking at their future, not college planning, future planning? Because if you set them right now, guess what? They don't really have to work until 70.
Yeah.
So the concept of retirement, a concept of future use of money. How do I think about that? Mostly it's this, right? We all have to go with the same human nature goes. So once we follow our human nature, that's equal on our chronological age, right? So we got to follow that. So at one point, we want income to come in without us putting effort out. So in order to do that, you have to have a plan in place that will do that for you at certain age in life. But if you're still healthy and you can be making effort out of in a community, I don't think there's any reason for you really to retire. If you're young, you have enough income coming in without putting effort, I don't see a reason why you need to work. Does that make sense? So if people put that in perspective and looking at their family and future for tomorrow, you know, especially as foreigners, right? When we come here, we want the best for everybody, not just our children. We want the best of the whole entire village, the school we went to, and everything else, you know? So if you have that abundance of thinking of giving, then you can have abundance of starting to give yourself. That's where future accumulation come in place. You start giving yourself before you give to others. They always say you can't give out of empty cup.
Yes.
So that's where retirement come in place. So people have a system that I was talking earlier that make you think I have to put my money here so I can retire here. It's a system. Learn the system. Once you learn the system, I can't emphasize that enough. Learn the system so you're not the victim of conventional system.
Exactly.
So if you don't go out of that, that's it. Then you're going to be a conventional system and your dreams will die with you, because they always say the richest place for dreams are in cemeteries. Because those people went with their dreams, they never see it through, and it's not lack of effort.
Exactly.
So that's what I would say when it comes to retirement. But one thing I want to add real quick.
Yes.
Foreigners, stop thinking you're going to retire where you came from.
That was my next question. Continue up to that point. I was about to mention about especially immigrants. We have that kind of problem. Yeah, continue.
Stop thinking you're going to do what? You're going to go to your country, you're going to build a house, and you're going to retire home, and you don't save now. Because the idea of you going home and not work the same income you used to, you have to have the same amount of money to last you. Most people don't calculate how many years are they going to be into retirement. What do I mean by that? Listen, an average American work for 30 years.
Yes.
And they sit in an average of 25 to 30 in retirement. But they spend more money when they're working, but they want to retire the same way when they are not, and they didn't save the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So you want to go home and retire, a home is not going to be enough. Live like you're going to retire here and then retire anywhere you want.
Yes, because that is the bigger mistake what people do. And it takes many years to come to realize this way. So someone is coming here for the first 5-10 years, hasn't made the mind whether I'm here forever, like in the mindset, like I'm planning as if I'm retiring here. So if I save more, I invest, I can have more money. Even if I say I want to retire in the Philippines, in Tanzania, in Uganda, in Russia, whatever you want to go is up to you because you have saved enough. So that's for what you have said, it's just encouraging people to make up their mind, especially at the beginning. And then you'll tell people the first thing when you come to these countries from day one, live as if you are going to die and be buried here. And then other things will play around. So if you happen to have a $1 million, $2 million in the end, you can choose where you want to go. But if you start thinking about, okay, let me go and build one type of small home in Kigoma for visiting, but you don't visit there for 5 years, that is wasting another of resources, while that could be able to help you in more ways of how you can be able to build more income and more wealth in that way. Okay. So if someone wants to get your advice in a professional way to meet you, what will be the proper way to contact you?
So the proper way to actually contact me is via phone or email. That is really a proper way to do that. Or they can go through my website and be able to actually get an appointment that they can book. But we all know as foreigners, we use WhatsApp. We don't go to website to book appointment. We go to website to check out what it is we need to know, and then we make up our mind before we make up even an appointment. So we already know each other, you know, because we are very good researchers, but we don't know how to research, right? Then we make up our mind and we didn't get all the information. So to avoid that, what I have done, you know, Mr. NST, is that this is what I've done, phone or email, because that make it a connection with the person. And then once I connect with that person, then I can do a quick evaluation to see if I'm the right fit for them. Then we can sit down and talk about how money works in America and what can we do to support based on where they are and where they actually want to go. Because sometimes people doesn't even know where they want to go. And together we can come up with a rough draft of where they want to go. And then we can start fulfilling that and allow it to change as they expand. So that's how they can.
Would it be possible if you can share your number?
Absolutely. My phone number is area code 517-980-4114. I'll say it again, 517-980-4114. And when you either text me through WhatsApp or you call, please refer that you have heard through this platform so I can give you the proper, you know, the proper consideration.
Yes.
For us African, we'll say it.
If I might add a few things on that. Number one, myself as immigrant, I will advise more immigrant to have professional who is also immigrant. Why? Because you have connection, can think about, because you can, I mean, if you go to a normal American who has no clue about Africa and you say, part of my budget, usually I send the money for the funeral of my primary school teacher, I contribute for the wedding. People don't contribute for the wedding. So why are you wasting the money? They do not know the value of that. But for you as immigrant to say, oh, so you have to budget on that one because you know why is it important? Because you have that culture. You can give a good advice because you have lived half of the life maybe in Africa, half of the life here. It is easier to have a very good advice for someone who is also immigrant. Even like I give myself, when I give advice for people about immigration, some majority of people is easier to understand me because I can speak something based on my context. I've been to the US embassy to the visa, but a lawyer can say this is the principle. The lawyer has never been to the visa interview or outside of America. So those are the few things people have to understand. Why should you hire or work with the immigrant who is a professional? Number one priority, then before you go to any other typical other American. And another thing, what I know, someone can have opportunity to be working with you on your team. Can you explain that opportunity for people who wants to do, anyone who wants to do this as part-time, to join in part-time on your team, and how can they benefit, and how they can transition from paycheck into owning their own business and getting commission and everything, how you are doing?
Man, that's really a great segue, actually. I really appreciate that you open up that to everyone that will be listening to this channel. So we don't take it very lightly. Like you said earlier, you know, that we Africans tend to withhold information when it comes to immigration status and how much money we make. It's the same way we hold back information when we have opportunities that people can change their life. But at the same time, we also are very skeptical. Oh my goodness, how did she do that? Is only the one person, is only this? No. So we have no obligation interview that we do for everyone. No obligation interview. We also meet with you with complimentary review of your finance. So guess what? That put us on zero out of pocket from you to learn from us. Why do we do that? Because our platform is no family left behind. So why do we even focus on no family left behind? Because we already know our people. Because they are already in an area where they don't want to explore. They are worrying that something could happen, would have happened, and everything else. So we want them to be comfortable to say, so long as I'm not losing any money, let me go learn, right? So through our platform, we take an ordinary individual who is ambitious, have desire and dream to do something with their purpose in life, and we show them how they can get to do this. So through our quick 10, 15 minute interview, we screen people to see if they are the right fit for our team. And if they are, we walk them through step by step and how can they be a licensed professional with zero experience and be able to be compensated, very well by helping others. So those are our key focus. And our team, Upendo, we call it a team because we work together. Because when we have influx of people, we have to be able to have people to actually help them. That's why we have a team. So, and what we do is we believe in inspire, motivate, and implement. So if we can inspire people, right, and then we can be always changing in innovation and quickly implementing what we do, we'll be able to help people more. So when we have people coming on board, we want to screen them in a sense that we want to know what can they bring to our team. How can they inspire, innovate, or implement? So through that, they come with different experience. We actually just, train them to do this. So that's how we really do and open up to others. So if you qualify, absolutely, you can be as early as 6 months a financial independent person who can actually talk to people and be able to help them.
And usually I tell people, if you are looking for advice from anyone, that person needs to have two main requirements. Number one, the person knows the things he's talking about, is expert, knows that for you, you know what we are talking about. You are licensed in everything. You have experience both Africa and America. But the second part is to have that good intention of also helping one person to go somewhere. Because if you don't have a good intention, obviously you just give a bad advice. And that's why I see even we call Team Upendo. For those who do not know Swahili, can you tell the meaning of the Upendo and why you use Upendo plus the flag of Tanzania? Why?
So, Omar, thank you for that opportunity actually to explain why we call ourselves Upendo. Upendo is an equal translation of English to Swahili is love. So why did we expand on love? So based on what an opportunity we have, the platform we are using was created by people just like me and you. They sat together just like me and you talking today, and they came up with a plan that is changing millions of people's life. So then they say, well, how can we make this reach so many people? They say, let's do with no family left behind. Talk to anybody regardless of the outcome. So when we were able to be helped, we looked on our values back in Tanzania, and we are known for hospitality, love, and all the accommodation we can give. We say, what if our goal is to just love everybody coming through our door? So if I meet with somebody, our first thing is to love them who they are and where they are, then help them through love. What we want our customer to feel is they were cared for, they were loved. What we want our business partner to feel that they are cared, they are loved. Through love, you can even infect so many powerful to every single person. So we say we're going to be bold. We're going to call ourselves that we love them and we truly believe in it, so, and every time you come, we'll tell you, welcome to Upendo, so for people who are on our team and they're not Tanzanian, we'll tell them Upendo means love, and we explain to them exactly the word it is, and we explain our mission of what it is we do. And to answer your question of why Tanzanian, oh my goodness, that's like a motivational for my husband and I, because we are all originally from Tanzania. We believe that the platform we are in can change national, every single nation in Tanzania, in Kenya, in Mexico, in what? So what we are saying to our team is, where are you from? What are you representing? What about your community first? So start home, then go outside. Yes. So start loving your people first. So we are very bold and say, hey, we are from Tanzania. We found a platform that can actually help our community. We want to put trillions of dollars for each family that we meet. But our focus is to start from home ourselves. And we continue to expand from there. So that's why we carry our flag in our platform. When we came, there was no Tanzanian at senior broker level. We were the first Tanzanian, because once we saw that, we say we are going to change our flag forever. So until today, we are carrying. So if you're listening and you're a foreigner from another country, you want to carry your flag, we can definitely show you how and support you, because the more community we reach in our own continent of Tanzania, the more people will actually see us, and not a third world country, but at the economy rich we are, So we start from what they know and we take to where we know. So that's what it is. Thank you for that opportunity to explain it.
One last question. You talked about your husband, and I know you have kids. Mm-hmm. But another problem we have, we usually on the money management and other things, we tended to separate between the money for father and mother versus the kids. And when the kids become parents or they become adult, they do not know they start doing mistakes. And I know for your situation, you have started from the very early to institute to put these ideas, and you share with them. They invest, but also more importantly, you talk about money, and you create a culture of not waiting for employment. Education is not for employment, but it's just for expanding the knowledge and growing to become business owners. How can you encourage also other parents to have that attitude? Just like that's what we see, like in Tanzania, for instance, Indians, it is easier to transform wealth from one Indian to another than if a Black or Tanzanian father dies, everything's going to disappear most of the time, compared to other, especially Indians, where they continue because they share, they know the blueprint of how business is done and everything. How can everybody, even if we are here, we have to put our kids into this decision and to see money as normal things and the mistake we are going to do. Share with people on that, how, especially when you are family, you do that, and how we can be able to learn from you.
I love this platform, but I love this platform more because you use people's real experiences, to impact others. And story, they say, story, sell, and fact, tell. So that's how it is. Yes. So story sells and fact tell. So if I'll come and say the people from the people, that's all fact, right? But if I tell you my story, you can relate at one point. Funny that you ask, right? Our oldest son just turned 18 February 3rd, right? So we have raised our children not by buying toys. So this is going to sound very, very, very weird in American culture. So we are Tanzanian out of American culture. So they did get those toys that they wanted here and there, but they were not focused. So our Christmas tree never been full of toys. So it's always full of envelope, So the kids get cash. So they get cash and then they manage their money. So they were little. So we didn't restrict them because they had to have a relationship with money, like I said before. Because if you don't have a relationship with money, all you see is your parent being too rich and you feel like they don't give it to you, then it's going to affect you. So then they manage their money. So at their level, they could order pizza. Others could save money. So for example, we have 3 children. Our oldest is 18, is a boy. Then we have a 12-year-old girl. Then we have a 10-year-old son. But my sons, we already know they're spenders. You give their money, they buy whatever they have to buy. Before you turn around, they have nothing. And then we have our daughter. She saves. She put her money away all the time. You will see that she will accumulate all the way to like 200, 300. She will keep it. She won't buy. So we can tell where the relationship of money is growing with them and how different they are. Now it helps us to gear us in a direction that we should take them through. But we want them to also feel that spending is okay. It's not a bad thing. But also they have to feel when they don't have it, they already spend it. They got to have the feeling. Because, if you don't have the feeling, it's hard to teach. So, and I'm going to cut this really short here is because imagine now today, I just took my son to the bank. He opened his first checking account at 18 years old. and he's been wanting to open since he was 14. And I said, you hadn't had any use for it. So we're not just opening just because we're opening, you have a checking account. So, and then as he's getting older, guess what did he do? Went online, did all his paperwork himself, made an appointment. That's when he told me I have an appointment at the bank to bring my particular. Can you take me? And I said, how much do you need to open the account? You say $25. And I say, why? Did your dad give it to you? Say, no, I have my own. So do you see that confidence? He has his own $25, right? He's gonna be going to open his own account. And I say, why do you want to open the account? He said, I need to do transaction through there. He already know how banks works. He want to do transaction through it, and we know it's a system for transaction. But what does he do at 18? All he does is edit videos. He doesn't work anywhere else. He doesn't have to work, but he created his own of editing video online, and they pay him.
See?
So that's what, like, if you give the relationship to your kids, and everybody raise their children different, for us, we choose. So all their aunts and everybody else, their birthday, they always know they're going to get money. So my 10-year-old now, he was 9 last year. So he's telling his aunt, last year you gave me 60. So with the interest, maybe 80 this year.
You see, first of all, she knows what is interest, which is very good thing. People do, I don't know.
And then they say, if you compound it, auntie, it will be even more. So they are getting that idea, right? And having just that relationship with money, and that's how we are really raising our children to understand money. And, the good kicker that we had from our 18-year-old who wanted to be a sports medicine to a business person and going to Manhattan College, right? And he just told us the other day and say, you know what? I figured it out. If I go to actually college, all I'm going to college is to have experience in college. So why do I have to pay so much money for it? Yeah. I can just go to the community college. I found the best one here I can enroll. They accept me already, right? Then I would just go and the second 2 years later, I say, hey, doesn't hurt. Go ahead and register. Let me know when you're done. So it's just that kind of them driving their life very early on and us just guiding their ability. That's all. Thank you for asking the question.
Yeah, those are very good things because if we don't start from the family part, the kids are growing up, they are going to start from zero or even negative to start like figuring out these things. But if they know everything, there are some of the families, the kids, they finish college, they graduate, they are not going to run for the jobs. They've already created something online or something like, they have invested enough. So these are the good things we needed to know, even like importance of education, why someone goes to college. Are you going to spend over $200,000 just to get employment, to get $3,000 per month? Is it even worth it? Or do you want to get that experience and the certain kind of things you need to know so that you can be able to monitor sets? And nowadays, like you can get so many certification and do professional, but you need to have the engagement. Like, okay, if I'm talking to the professor, I'm talking to this kind of. So those are the things like college-wise we needed to know, because college they don't teach how to use money, which is supposed to be that way.
No, they don't. It's only 5 states that teach about basic finance in US. So imagine about the others, right? They don't. So for others, being around our children and around what we do, to be in our business, you have to be an adult, meaning 18. So the day of my son's birthday, the first thing he said, Mama, I want to join the business. So the first thing we did is him starting the business. And now by the end of the week, he's going to be a licensed professional. So you think about an 18-year-old starting to be a licensed professional, right? By the time it's 25, where would he be? With or without college, right? Degree. So those are the things we do, and we take advantage of where we are, right? So, just by sharing experience. So we are in the industry where it can impact anyone. But him right now is saying, I know the few people who are going to be really good as my business partner, but they are not of age yet, ma'am. I say, okay, let's educate them then.
That's very, very good.
Yeah, so that's our story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really appreciate it for you taking this time to share these kind of things. And I believe many people will have the opportunity to start right away when they arrive in America. And even if You have been here for 10 years, you haven't done these kind of things. You haven't started doing investment, you haven't thought about retirement. It's not late, start today. And start today, not just from having these vibubu, those small box, and you put your money there. Yes, you can do that, but let's find a way on how the money can grow. Like I remember the other day we were talking, like, if the bank is going to put money somewhere, why can't you go direct to put the money where the bank is going to put the money?
That's always been my puzzle. Why go through them if they're gonna go there by themselves? Why don't you just cut a shortcut and go there yourself?
Yeah, that is the other way we can be able to do that. Yeah, so thank you. I really appreciate on this. It is going to help a lot of people, I believe so. And it will be like if someone is asking the question, if I want to come to America, oh, I've just arrived here. I say, number one, watch this video. It is going to give the guidelines from day one, what you need to do, what mentality you need to have. Even if you are going to go back to your home country after 3 years, just think I'm going to stay forever, start aggressive from day one. That will be able to help so many people.
You're so correct.